Hello, and welcome to the Say Yes Movement podcast with Heather and John. And happy Friday, Heather. How are you?
Happy Friday and happy St. Patty's Day. I've got my green on today. I'm all ready to go. And as
Yes,
soon as we're done this podcast, I'm literally going for an Irish coffee. That's what I'm doing next.
Irish coffee. What is an Irish coffee even? What? Okay, anyway, it sounds like fun. So you're not even in Toronto. You're not in your normal space. Where are you today?
No, I am coming live from Chicago. I am here for a girls' weekend, and we are here to celebrate St. Patty's Day and just have fun in the city. I've actually never been to Chicago, so this is my first time, and I'm really excited. We have
Awesome.
a really cool. We overlook the river, and they turn the river green. They dye the river for St. Patty's Day, so it's
Wow.
quite a scene actually. So we overlook the river, and it's green. It's as green as my shirt.
You're definitely gonna have to take a picture and show us. I can only imagine like just the energy that's in the city today. Chicago. I've only been there once, but beautiful city. They say um, it's like a Toronto. It's kind of has that Toronto feel. It's just much bigger, right?
Yeah.
Like I think the Toronto's starting to get there too. We got the big skyscrapers now, right? But yeah, no, great. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Today is Friday, so it is Celebration Fridays, and we're really gonna get into what are we celebrating this week. So, Spetta, we'll start with you. What are you celebrating
I'm
this week?
celebrating, girlfriends that are adventurous and fun. And we all put our intentions out for this weekend. And I think that's really important to do no matter who you're with. And, my intention for this weekend is to find the unexpected. So I
Mm.
have no idea what shenanigans are going to happen with that intention. But so far, we've actually already had at least 5 unexpected things happen. So our very first Uber driver, I started to talk to him, and we were talking about music, and he let me know he's a musician, and
Wow.
he started to sing, and I'm like, that is beautiful. And I said, do you play your own songs? He says, yes, I'm a guitar player, and I wrote a love song for my wife. I said, could we hear the love song for your wife? And he's Armenian, so he had to translate it for us. He started crying in the car, John. He was
Oh wow.
so emotionally, and then I was a little afraid because he's the driver, but it brought such good emotion for him. And it just reminded me that connection happens in an instant, and emotional connection is can be with strangers for a moment in time. And we often think, oh, I don't have time to make a connection. I don't have, I need to learn so much about them. No, that is not true. Within, I think it was the first 4 minutes of driving that we had him singing with us and playing his love song and telling us about his wife, telling his 30-year love story of how he met his wife and how he loves her to this day. And it just filled our hearts with so much joy. And this is like the first half an hour that we've landed in Chicago. So the unexpected is happening all around us when we open up our hearts and our minds to make that work. And so it was just a beautiful moment, John, but it reminded me that connection happens in an instant. And in fact, I'll tell you another story. I saw a video. Disney is working on robots, and they're working on robots that are going to interact with the people in the parks. And they had a robot come out on stage. Maybe I'll find the video and post it. And in 45 seconds, the entire audience was emotionally connected. And you knew that because it was a little girl learning to roller skate, was the robot, and she fell. And everyone was like, oh, like you just heard this like gasp in the audience. And then they pick her up, and she brushes her knees off, and then she learns how to roller skate, and the whole audience is cheering and laughing. And like, this is not a real person, it's a robot. But we were emotionally connected to it in 45 seconds. So that, John, I'll leave it at that. I'm sure you have some thoughts on that, because people think it takes so much more energy, and that we don't have that to give. And in fact, it's all we have to give. Our energy is free to give. So let's give it out to the world.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because this week, so in terms of celebrations, this week has been recommitment week for both of us. We kicked off on Monday. Here we are on Friday. I don't know about you, but I feel like I've been on fire all week, just recommitting to the basics, recommitting to all the big things that I said I was going to do, to the big vision for 2023. We fall off track, but that's okay. We can get back on track really quickly when you realize that you've fallen off track. So recommitment week has been big for me in terms of celebrating this week, but also reconnecting. You know, the one thing that I've forgotten to do, and it just happens with time, right? Life shows up, things happen, and you just forget to make a call. When you have that feeling. The one thing, the one intuition I've taken away from you, Heather, is when somebody pops into your head, just reach out, say hi. So I've been
Yes.
doing that, but everybody else, I feel like I've been neglecting. So this week, as part of my recommitment to myself, my goals, my vision, has been to reconnect with people that I've lost touch with. And I'm talking about people that I haven't connected with since 2019, like people that I've really
Mm.
lost touch with over the years. So, I'm going to celebrate that I'm reconnecting with people. I did it this morning. I got a great tool from Gunjan. I don't know if he's on the call with us today, but leveraging the apps like WhatsApp and other tools to really create that connection. Let people know, hey, I'm here. I'm thinking about you, and I just want to let you know that I'm still thinking about you and I care about you. Because at some point, somebody's come into your life for a reason, and they're there, and it's just a matter of acknowledging, like you said, acknowledging, asking them, hey, what's going on? How's it going? How are things? Like I sent a message out this morning, and it's just been amazing to see the responses come back, right? Like just it's blown me away. People are feeling what I'm feeling, and I know we're feeling it. It's just so important to reconnect. This is why you're doing a girls' weekend out in Chicago, right? It's just another way of reconnecting with people closest to you, because sometimes life happens,
That's right. And
and
we don't take the time to just breathe and explore and be,
yeah,
really spontaneous and fun. So, those are other ways to activate the highest energy in yourself so that you can give it to others and reach out to others and give them that energy. Because, John, I know this is your experience too. Every time I reach out to someone with a message, I get back a message that sounds similar to, how did you know I needed to hear that right now? How did you know I was thinking of you too? How did you know? And we are connected by energy, and we knew because we're all humans and we're all having a human experience. So why can't we make it the best human experience for everyone that we care about? And that's
yeah.
that's what I'm going to take away from Friday. And of course, I'm gonna be getting into some shenanigans this afternoon. So I'm going to bring lots of joy to some Irish coffee and other moments today.
Shenanigans. It's so like as you're saying shenanigans, I'm thinking St. Patrick's Day, right? St. Patty's Day. I know, just that tie, that Irish tie, that Irish connection. And sorry, I just want to take a second. Good morning, Felicia. Yes, I don't have green. I was actually talking to Heather about this before I got on the call today. My closet, because it's primarily a black and blue. I think it's time for a little wardrobe update to get myself into something a little bit more colorful. But yeah, no, it's just amazing what happens. And I don't know for you, but this week things have shown up differently. Like there's been a different energy around just participating, getting back on social, like doing my lives
Mm.
every day on Instagram. That's created a different type of energy for me too, because it's creating different type of dialogues, right?
Hmm.
And I think we just forget, like at the end of the day, we're just, you and I, we're just trying to create a human experience. We have our mission this year to impact 1 million people. And the way we do that is through this, but also through all the other channels that we connect through. And one-to-one conversation is probably the biggest one. Because if we impact
Hmm.
one person, I talked about this yesterday on the live, where it creates a ripple, right? You throw the
Yes.
pebble in the pond, it creates a ripple. And we're trying to create ripples here, right? And we're trying to share tools that are going to help you get back into recommitting back to yourself. We shared the big picture vision and how to bring it closer, brighten it up, and give it some extra sound. If you want to reduce stress, anxiety, you push those images away. And you do it through breath too, right? Like these are all the different processes and techniques that we use as NLP practitioners in terms of helping our clients get themselves to a place where they feel empowered and strong and just feeling confident again, right? Like it just, we just forget. Like we just, and it's so easy, right? It's just so easy to forget. I don't know if that's what you've noticed this week, but when I asked you this week about your push-ups and your planks, you're like, that's right.
Yeah, I'd fallen off on the regular routine. So download the habit tracker and start tracking and gamify my life and make
Mhm.
sure that I'm having fun doing the stuff that's going to make me a stronger person both inside and out. But I've had the same energy lift, John, as you have. And it, it reminds me when we're in that moment where like it feels overwhelming, it feels like too much, there's this to-do list that's just dragging us down. That's the time to actually put your energy not to those tasks because they're actually depleting your energy, but to take them and put them into something else that's going to fill your bucket so that you have more energy to go back to those later on. So it may be playing with the kids, it may be taking a walk, it may be playing with the dog, it may be planning an adventure or a vacation, things that are going to actually fill your bucket, not take away. Even just reaching out to the friends like you've been doing, John, this week, it fills your bucket. It absolutely energizes you. And then you go back to those tasks that are holding you back. And I say tasks, and you actually can reassess them and say, what's the most important thing that needs to get done here? And also, do I have to do all of this? Am I the right person to do all of this? And sometimes, actually, most of the time, the answer is you'll find something that you can delegate, don't do, or let go of. And maybe that new version of yourself doesn't need to do that task anymore because it's not serving you.
Yeah, no, so it's interesting that you say that, because the one thing that's been processing for me as I've been going through this has been, what's really important, right? Like, so as I recommit to my bigger vision for 2023, what are the things that are really important? What are the things that really matter, right?
Mm.
And what came up to the top of the list was just connection. Reconnecting with people in my life that I've lost connection with, but it also helped me realize there's things that maybe I'm doing day to day that I shouldn't be doing because they don't really add the value to the most important things that I want to do. Right? We talk about saying yes. We say yes to, we invite everyone to say yes to the scary stuff, but the scary stuff should align with the bigger vision. Right? So that's where you get that direct correlation. You shouldn't be saying yes to everything. You should be saying yes to the things that matter, to the things that are really important. And when you have that big vision picture and you know what that is, all the little things that you say yes to should tie back up to that.
Yes.
So it actually teaches you how to say no.
And I think that's a really important lesson, John, because we're not about saying yes to everything. That is not what we are saying. Oh my God, we would all be like crazy. But when you say yes to the important stuff, it's easy to say no to the other stuff. And if you don't have a clear vision, then other people will come in and create or try to influence your vision. And that's where confusion comes in. That's where anxiety and stress comes in. And it's really easy when you're on a mission that you're like, that's going to serve that mission or not serve that mission. So I can say yes to it or I can say no to it. It was so easy, John, to say yes to this podcast and LinkedIn Live 3 days a week with you because it's serving our mission. In fact, I packed up all my podcasting stuff, put it in my knapsack, and I was happy to bring it to Chicago with me. And my girlfriends were kind of making fun of me because I had a drink last night, and they're like, what are you going to be okay to wake up tomorrow? When it's not work, when it's on purpose, it's fun, and you can't wait to get up and do it. So, that's the environment that you want to create for yourself. And guys, not our whole life is like that, but if you can create the majority of your life to be like that, the majority of the work that you do in, however your career is, however you make money, then that is success to me. At least that's on my success pattern.
Yeah, no, you're right. And, it just elevates the community, right? We've both done it, right? Between, where we started and where we are today, I don't even know how many different places that we've been in doing this call, right? Like between Dallas and Austin, and actually I even did it for Portugal, right? And here you are, and here you are in Chicago, right? Like there's no limit, the commitment, like for us, like you said, it's just a way of pushing out that bigger vision, that bigger mission of really creating that impact in the world. And I know you have a personal impact, which I've kind of adopted for myself, 5 people every day, right? Like 5 connections, 5 conversations, 5 things that really make a difference in people's lives. And, when you make that connection, like that to me has, that lights me up. That fills me with just so much energy. Robbie, good morning. Great to have you here. But yeah, no, it's like connection, like it does something special. It reinvigorates you. It gets you like back to a place where it should be, right? Like it just feels more natural, more normal, right?
And
Like
it,
just
and
being
it's
connected.
it's palatable, John. Like you can actually feel the energy of that
Mhm.
connection. And I shared at the beginning, my story about the Uber cab driver. I ended up sitting in the front seat. Now the girls have said, Heather, you're always in the front seat so that you can create that energy with all of the drivers. So, we've had a few already, and each one of them has a unique perspective of what we should see in the city, how to stay safe as four women traveling together. We're asking them questions about their lives. But even the girls that I'm traveling with, and two of them, it's the first time I'm traveling with them, they're like, oh my God, so much good stuff is happening. So like we're just, and then it just amps up and amps up and amps up. And like we're gonna have an awesome time together because this energy is just getting created, and we're harnessing it and giving it a big hug. So think about, what's the energy that you give off? Like what comes off of you? And are you giving yourself a big hug? And there's body language that we can actually say things to people with. When I'm talking, my shoulders are back, my chin is up, my arms might be like doing like a big hug, like not physically, but the air. And I'm like talking with my hands, like really animated, and just having a really, really good time. And strangers are noticing. And of course it's St. Patty's Day, so we're all going to be having a good time. But yesterday was not St. Patty's Day. Yesterday was just a normal day in the city. And so just know that you can influence. And I actually got a room upgrade. I think it's my energy. I have to
Nice.
say that. And I went, and the guy was on his third day at work, and I said to him, I love what you have, no stress with this. He had 7 people in line, 4 people on the phone, and he was the only guy because the manager had stepped away. And I said, how are you managing all this? Like, this is wonderful to see. Do you want me to answer the phone for you? And he said, it's only my 3rd day. And I thought, oh my Lord. So I went and got him a Starbucks gift certificate and handed it
Oh,
to him.
wow.
And let me tell you, his face when he thought I was handing him my room keys, because it looks like the same envelope. And then he opened it and he's like, wow. Like and I just walked away like that. That's not for me to get recognition.
Mhm.
It's for him to know that he made a difference in and like my room is gorgeous. Like I can see everything from the city. So like that $25 gift certificate, believe me, was worth every penny. So, but again, that
Mhm.
I don't think I got a room upgrade because I got a room upgrade. I swear I feel the energy that I put out into the universe, into this trip, created that possibility. So what possibility are you going to create with the energy that you're going to share with the world? That's the question that I want you to ask this
Yeah.
weekend.
No, and there's two things that showed up. Actually, two words. The one thing that we talked about, going back to recommitment, right? We recommitting to the words that we said we were going to use as our drivers for this year. One was abundance for me, and two was strength for you. And what
Yeah.
I heard in that story was a combination of both, right? There's
Yes.
abundance, there's strength. Just recognizing people's strengths. Like this person, third day on the job, and here he is, taking care of you, right? Like there was something special about what he did for you, and then just acknowledging and like, and that comes from a place of abundance, right? Like that to me was like, wow. When you just share that, I was like, wow. Like it's one thing to say thank you, but it's another thing just to go that little extra, right? And
Exactly.
it's beautiful because when we, like, again, just coming back to recommitting to the things that we said we were going to do, getting back to strength, getting back to abundance. Like, wow, like it just as
Good
you're saying that,
reconnect, John.
those
Yeah,
two
like
words just
I
like
didn't
blew up
even
in
make
front of
that
me.
connection. That is so fantastic. That means you're living it, right? You're bringing it to
Mhm.
you. It's getting attracted. It's like a magnet.
Yeah.
I was doing the unexpected because I added a new word for this weekend. But you're right. Strength and abundance is always around us. We just have to know how to unlock the secrets to it.
Mhm.
And the secrets is you have to show up with strength and abundance in your mindset first.
Yeah, yeah. No, and so yes, 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 yes. And you end up attracting what you put out, right? So you're like, and I think you just said it. The key word is you're a magnet, right? And you put
Yeah.
out that curiosity, you put out the unexpected. I'm open to the unexpected, and I'm open. I'm happy to encounter and receive whatever comes from the unexpected. So it's just a beautiful thing that recommitting so for those that are listening, go back to your word. What's your big word? I know we captured a couple of them. We'll share it back out in the feed, but go back. What's that big word for you for 2023, right? Like, and just remember, that word. I think that's huge. As you're saying that, it's like, Like I saw these two big like pop-up balloons with these big words come up. So anyways, so I can't believe we're already at time. It's already 20 minutes in. So the takeaway, Heather, the takeaway today, go back, connect, go into the unexpected, have some fun, and just be open. I think that's the big part. That's the one thing that we've been talking about on this episode is just be open to what shows up for you. And just, go
Exactly.
back to recommitting, right? Like, I think that's so important. Okay, cool. So when you change your mindset, you change your life. And with that, we're going to say thank you for joining us on the Say Yes Movement podcast today. Wishing everyone an amazing St. Patty's Day and an amazing weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Take care, everybody.
See everyone.